They said she was just a last-minute ratings stunt, a cheap trick to get some eyeballs on a Monday night. They whispered that the only thing she truly inherited from her famous dad was a recognizable jawline, a genetic quirk, nothing more. And let's be honest, for a long time, the wrestling world agreed. But then came August 12th, 2025. That night, that very jawline was clenched so tight it looked like it could have snapped steel, and the only stunt anyone witnessed was the way she folded a 5'10" battle-hardened opponent like a flimsy lawn chair in under 6 minutes. Arissa LeBrock, daughter of action movie legend Steven Seagal and supermodel Kelly LeBrock, didn't just walk through the Monday Night Raw curtain. She kicked the entire damn door off its hinges. She didn't just make an entrance. She detonated a reality check, reminding every single skeptic that DNA, especially that kind of DNA, can be a surprisingly dangerous thing when channeled correctly. And trust me, after that night, nobody was doubting her fighting spirit anymore. For years, the internet rolled its collective eyes whenever Arissa's name even remotely popped up on a wrestling rumor sheet. The whispers were always the same, dripping with cynicism. Nepo baby. Trust fund tough girl. Just another celebrity kid treating WWE like a red carpet after party. We'd all seen this movie before, hadn't we? The critics laughed, the forums filled with mockery. She'll get winded just climbing into the ring, one sniped. Others, even more dismissively, offered, her finisher? Oh, that'll be calling security. It wasn't just idle chatter, it was a deeply ingrained skepticism. A pattern recognition born from years of watching Hollywood offspring dabble, and often flame out, in fields far removed from their parents' expertise. We've seen actors' kids try their hand at football, only to warm the bench. We've witnessed musicians' children struggle to escape a famous parent's shadow. MMA? A graveyard for many a privileged hopeful. So, wrestling, the thinking went, would simply chew her up and spit her out faster than a straight-to-DVD sequel could hit the bargain bin. Even after she quietly, almost anonymously, worked indie shows under her middle name, trying to earn her stripes away from the glare, fans largely shrugged. Cute hobby, they'd say, scrolling past. The doubt wasn't necessarily personal against Arissa herself. It was an institutional distrust of inherited fame without earned grit. It was the wrestling community, fiercely protective of its art form, wary of anyone perceived to be slumming it for a quick buck or fleeting attention. Then came the real setback. A knee injury, a brutal twist of fate, sidelined her after her 2019 WWE tryout. For the cynics, it was a moment of grim satisfaction. Told you so, they pounced, their online pronouncements practically vibrating with vindication. This wasn't just a bump in the road. For many, it confirmed their deepest suspicions. It seemed like the story was over before it ever truly began. Another celebrity kid who couldn't hack it in the brutal, unforgiving world of professional wrestling. But what they didn't see, what the cameras never caught, was the fire that injury ignited, not extinguished, deep within her. They didn't see the silence before the storm. What the cameras didn't catch, what the internet trolls couldn't fathom, were the brutal, often lonely, 4 a.m. grappling sessions at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. This wasn't a celebrity gym with a personal trainer and smoothie bar. This was a sweat-soaked crucible, a place where legends were forged and dreams were either realized or crushed. And at the heart of it was Dustin Rhodes, the natural himself, a gold-trunked veteran with a lifetime of ring miles on his knees, scars on his soul, and an uncanny ability to spot true potential. He saw something in her that didn't need spotlights or a famous last name. He saw a hunger, a quiet ferocity that belied her serene exterior. Dustin didn't coddle her. He pushed her through ladder circuit conditioning until she puked, then, without a moment's hesitation, made her run the ropes again. And again, and again. He stripped away any notion of inherited privilege, forcing her to earn every single ounce of progress. She learned to chain wrestle with a terrifying calm, a methodical precision that mirrored the way her dad once dislocated arms in Above the Law. wasn't about flashy moves. It was about control, leverage, and the subtle art of making an opponent submit. Her training became a relentless fusion of disciplines. Brazilian jiu-jitsu sweeps, honed to perfection, were seamlessly mixed with old-school Aikido wrist locks and throws. The goal wasn't just to learn. It was to internalize, to make these movements second nature. Her style began to feel like watching a python do origami. Slow, deliberate, almost beautiful in its unfolding, then suddenly, irrevocably fatal. Every joint, every limb, every breath was an opportunity to gain an advantage, to inflict controlled chaos. She wasn't just learning techniques, she was learning to think like a predator, to anticipate, to dominate. The knee injury, once a symbol of her weakness, became a turning point. It taught her resilience, patience, and an even deeper respect for her body and its limits. By the time WWE Medical finally cleared her, the transformation was astonishing. She'd added 15 pounds of mat-hardened muscle, each fiber earned through grueling effort and unwavering dedication. More importantly, she'd subtracted every single ounce of self-doubt that might have clung to her. The celebrity kid was gone, replaced by a warrior. She wasn't just ready to step into the ring, she was ready to conquer it. The silence was over. The storm was about to break. August 12th, Bridgeport, Connecticut. The air in the arena was thick with a lukewarm buzz, the kind of polite anticipation you get for a mid-card match on a Monday night. Then the house lights dipped, bathing the arena in an icy, almost ethereal blue. A single, haunting shamisen note, her dad's signature sound, instantly recognizable, echoed through the speakers, cutting through the murmurs. Boos, scattered and half-hearted, greeted her as she stepped onto the stage. Arissa was a figure of stark intensity. She wore a long black leather duster, a practical, no-nonsense garment that billowed slightly with her purposeful strides. Her hair was braided tight, pulled back from her face, emphasizing that famous jawline. Her eyes, dark and piercing, weren't looking for applause. They were scanning the crowd, assessing, calculating. No cartwheels, no glitter, no theatrics. Just business. Opposite her, already bouncing on her heels, was Victoria Blackwood, a powerhouse NXT call-up, known for her brutal strength. As Arissa stared her down, a nasty chant began to ripple through the upper decks. "She can't fight. She's only here because of her dad." The bell rang. Blackwood lunged with a powerful lariat, but Arissa ducked under it with cat-like reflexes. In a single, seamless motion, she trapped Blackwood's arm, spun into a shoulder lock, and yanked the larger woman to the mat with shocking force. It was a classic Aikido kote gaishi, executed with such precision that the torque landed perfectly legal under WWE rules. The crowd let out an audible gasp. The commentator's voice cracked. "Wait, did you just see that reversal? That wasn't a wrestling move, that was a disarm." 2 minutes in, Blackwood, rattled but still confident in her strength, tried to wrap Arissa in a crushing bear hug. But Arissa countered, not with brute force, but with a sudden, explosive belly-to-belly suplex that looked like it was borrowed directly from her dad's Under Siege choreography. The commentary team spluttered. "That's judo. That's sheer judo," one exclaimed. In the 10th row, a fan turned to his buddy, his voice a disbelieving whisper. "No way! This is actually happening!" The boos and mocking chants had vanished, replaced by a stunned electric silence. She wasn't just performing, she was teaching. At 5:47, Arissa grapevined Blackwood's leg, sliding into a perfectly applied knee bar. Instead of flashy flips, she simply leaned back, applying relentless pressure until Blackwood's shoulders hit the mat, pinned for the 3 count. The referee's hand slammed down. No theme music reprise, no victory dance. Arissa simply stood, stared directly into the hard camera, the one broadcasting her victory to millions, and whispered one word, clear and chilling. "Next." The arena exploded. Shock, disbelief, and then a profound, undeniable respect turned into the loudest cheers of the entire night. The arena wasn't the only thing exploding. Social media lit up like a California wildfire. LeBrock trended worldwide in 8 minutes flat, a testament to the instantaneous impact of her performance. WWE's YouTube clip of her debut match hit 1 million views before Pacific Time had even finished dinner, shattering internal records for a newcomer's first outing. Betting apps, usually slow and calculated, scrambled to readjust their Women's Royal Rumble odds, moving her from unlisted, an absolute nobody in the wagering world, all the way to 5th favorite overnight. It was a seismic shift, a clear indication that the landscape of the women's division had just been irrevocably altered. Even Dustin Rhodes, her stoic mentor, couldn't contain his pride. He tweeted simply, "Told y'all she was special." A quiet, knowing validation from someone who had seen the grind, the struggle, and the ultimate triumph. And, perhaps most tellingly, even the notoriously cynical MMA Twitter community tipped their collective hats. One thread simply posted a GIF of Steven Seagal famously snapping a pool cue in half and wrote, with a rare moment of genuine admiration, "Like father, like daughter." The fighting world, across all disciplines, had taken notice. The message was clear. Arissa LeBrock was here, and she was not playing around. Still, amidst the euphoria and the trending hashtags, questions lingered, as they always do in the unforgiving world of professional wrestling. One dominant performance, however spectacular, doesn't make a career. Can she work a 15-minute main event pace, sustaining that intensity and precision over a longer, more grueling match? A 6-minute sprint is one thing. A championship-level marathon is another beast entirely. Will promoters protect her from the division's more reckless veterans, those who might see her as an opportunity to make a name for themselves by taking out the new sensation? The locker room, after all, is a shark tank. And what happens when the division's queen bees, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, decide the rookie needs a receipt, a harsh lesson in humility? These aren't just top-tier athletes. They're seasoned strategists, masters of their craft, and they won't take kindly to a newcomer stealing their thunder. Her answer so far? A telling silence, followed by another grueling training session. Scouts say she's been actively requesting house show loops, the wrestling equivalent of baseball's minor league bus rides. Why? Because reps, the sheer repetition of performing in front of live crowds, matter more than red carpets or primetime TV spots. She's not looking for shortcuts. She's looking to master her craft, one grueling match at a time. The real work, she knows, has only just begun. Inevitably, the comparisons began. Some immediately pegged her as the next Ronda Rousey, a genuine crossover athlete, bringing mainstream eyes and a terrifyingly legitimate submission game that frankly scares her co-workers. Rousey, after all, shattered perceptions and brought an entirely new level of combat sports credibility to WWE. Arissa, with her martial arts background and surgical precision, certainly fits that mold. Others, however, leaned towards Shayna Baszler, but with significantly better marketing. Baszler is a submission specialist, a legitimate MMA fighter who transitioned to wrestling with a similar no-nonsense approach. But Arissa's style is quieter, more insidious, less haymaker, more scalpel. She doesn't just apply submissions, she weaves into them, making them feel like an inevitable conclusion rather than a sudden attack. Imagine Baszler's undeniable mean streak, that cold, calculating aggression, blended seamlessly with Tajiri's shock counters and unexpected agility, and you begin to get a vibe that feels both fresh and yet strangely vintage. She's not just a copy, she's an evolution. Wrestling loves a good redemption arc, a story of overcoming adversity, but let's be honest, it loves dominance even more. If Arissa LeBrock can string together wins on Raw and deliver consistently stellar performances on pay-per-views, the creative team at WWE could fast-track her into some truly monumental matchups. We could be looking at a Survivor Series showdown with Rhea Ripley, a clash of titans that would shake the foundations of the women's division. A WrestleMania marquee match, perhaps even a title reign by 2026? It's not just possible. After that debut, it feels almost inevitable. The merch, always a telltale sign of a rising star, has already leaked. A t-shirt showing broken sunglasses and the slogan, "Hard to See," emblazoned in kanji. A classic subtle needle to her dad's iconic persona without ever explicitly saying his name. It's brilliant, a knowing wink to those in the know, and a cool, enigmatic design for everyone else. Kids who weren't even alive for Under Siege will wear that shirt, flex in the mirror, and, perhaps unconsciously, believe that true martial arts still belong and thrive inside a squared circle. She's not just building a career, she's reigniting a legacy, not her father's, but her own unique blend of power and precision. So, let's be real here. Was that the greatest debut since the Shield stormed Survivor Series? Or are we getting a little too hyped? Does Arissa LeBrock scare the locker room more than a Brock Lesnar voicemail? Or is she just the flavor of the month? Drop your dream match below. LeBrock versus Ripley in a steel cage, LeBrock versus Asuka in a submission-only clinic, LeBrock versus Baszler in an octagon-styled ring. Whatever chaos you crave, spell it out in the comments. Hit like if you love seeing silver spoon stories flipped on their head, proving that grit can conquer privilege. And smash that subscribe button so you don't miss when we break down next week's impossible debut. Because if wrestling teaches us one thing, it's that nobody ever truly sees the uppercut coming until it lands. Arissa LeBrock didn't ask for the spotlight. She inherited it, got bored with its comfortable glow, and then, through sheer force of will and relentless training, reinvented it into a weapon. One match won't crown her queen, but it sure as hell rattled the throne room of the women's division. It sent a clear, undeniable message. The women's division just got bigger, meaner, and a whole lot more interesting. So keep those receipts, doubters, because the next time you casually utter the words "Nepo baby," Arissa LeBrock might just answer with a knee bar faster than you can delete your old tweets. And that, right there, that unpredictable, undeniable force of nature, is precisely why wrestling stays the most compelling, most surprising, and most unpredictable show on Earth.